Hello, good morning. My name is Odette Williamson, and I'm a senior attorney at the National Consumer Law Center and director of our Racial Justice Initiative. This is my brief take on the challenges to sustainable homeownership among older Black adults. But before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit more about the National Consumer Law Center. We are a 50-year-old advocacy organization, and we focus on using our expertise in consumer law and energy policy to work for consumer justice and economic security for low-income and other disadvantaged people in the United States. A key part of our advocacy is directed at race equity, and we use our race equity lens in all aspects of our advocacy through the Racial Justice and Equal Economic Opportunity Project. That includes our litigation, our reports, our training, and our technical advice and assistance. So today, we will focus on a couple of issues, because what we know is that older Black adults face unique challenges in maintaining home ownership. In fact, over the last 10 to 15 years, the rate of homeownership among older Black adults has steadily declined. As of 2022, the homeownership rate for white adults over age 65 was 82.4%, while for Black adults in that age range, it was only 62.8%. Even worse, the homeownership rate for the generation coming after, that is Black households entering retirement ages 55 to 64, was only 53.6% in 2019. And that was right before, of course, the start of the pandemic. And that was down from a peak of nearly 70% in 2005. Now, there are many reasons for this decline in homeownership among older adults, including a significant loss of homes during the foreclosure crisis. But I will focus mainly on two issues. First, a form of homeownership commonly referred to as heirs property, and property tax foreclosures in Black communities. And both of these issues drive predatory investment and speculation in Black communities. So first, let's go over heirs property. Heirs property is also known as tangled title. It is a form of homeownership that occurs when a homeowner dies without a will or dies with a will, but leaves the home to multiple heirs. Heirs property is a big problem in the Black community, in Latino communities as well, especially in the Southeast, and indigenous communities and in rural areas. It is a particular problem for Black communities because 77% of Black adults do not have a will, and so the property is passed on informally, generation after generation, leaving dozens, sometimes hundreds of heirs. And this form of homeownership is highly unstable. People who inherit without a will often don't know that they have an interest in the property, or that they have to go through the probate process to record their ownership interests. And of course, the probate process can be very, very expensive. So heirs and other family members who do not have record ownership of the property cannot do a couple things. They can't sell their home. They are unable to get a mortgage or even homeowners insurance. They are unable to get home repair loans and grants. And of course, that is really, really important in disaster-prone areas. And they're not able to get access to other government benefits. But another key disadvantage is in the property tax system. Heirs are unable to get access to abatements, exemptions, and other tax relief programs because most states limit those programs to the record owner of the property. And of course, a lot of these programs are very generous and significantly reduce the amount of taxes owed. Heirs often do not receive notice of the amount of property taxes owed or when those taxes go into default. So through a lack of notice and other structural barriers, heirs fall behind on taxes very, very quickly, and they are at heightened risk of foreclosure because by the time they realize what is owed on the taxes, often it's right before or right after the sale, and the amount that is due is very, very high because of added interest, fees, and penalties. And it's often difficult, if not impossible, to pay that amount in one lump sum to either stop the tax sale or redeem the property. And of course, as mentioned before, selling the property is difficult if there is no clear title or if all the heirs cannot agree to sell the home. So these are the very, very communities that research shows pay a disproportionately more in property taxes because of a flawed tax assessment and appeals process in most states. One research, for example, found that nationally, Black households pay 13% more in taxes than white households, which is equivalent to an extra $300 to $390 more per year in taxes. All of these issues, the property tax delinquency, the heir's property, not only destabilize Black homeownership, but drive predatory investors and scammers to the door of Black homeowners. Now, NCLC has proposed a slate of reform to address the racialized impact of heirs' property and property tax foreclosure. This includes reform to provide, for example, more rights for heirs to access property tax relief and other public benefits, changes to how property taxes are assessed and enforced, and more access to tax abatement, exemptions, and other forms of tax relief that lower the amount due. We have a team of advocates working on these issues. For more information, please contact me, Odette Williamson, at owilliamson@nclc.org. There's also a lot of information on our website at www.nclc.org and in all of our manuals, books, other books, and various publications. Thank you so much for your time.